Hey, what's up, guys? Ronin Man here. Hey, if you really want to get the mileage out of the girls, you have to learn how to string women along. I looked online, there's not one single article or video about how to string women along. And there's a lot of articles by women about how not to get strung along. So what that tells me is that guys do not do this consciously. So the guys that are players, the guys who know how to string women along, they're doing it subconsciously, or just they learn it themselves. If you're going to do something, it's worth taking a bit of time to really consciously think about it and learn from an expert. And I can tell you this, I'm an expert at stringing women along. I can do it. I did it naturally, effortlessly, and I've done it a lot, so I have a lot of experience with it. And I had a lot of friends who were all doing it. We were all doing it. At the time, here's the funny thing. We didn't really know what we're doing. Like, I honestly did not even understand what I was doing. I kind of discovered I was stringing women along because I kept having these women who I was dating, you know, and they would like turn 28 or whatever, and they'd be super depressed, and then they would leave me. And they would leave with no, like, you know, there's that thing like, no, a woman, there's no, what is that called? Hell hath no fear like a woman scorned. The woman who you strung along, they don't get revenge. Actually, they don't at all. They like, it's almost like they're kind of crushed. They just like quietly leave. Like, it's so embarrassing and it's so depressing because they can never get their years back. So they just, you know, this is actually, this technique, not only does it have huge benefits, but it also has almost no negatives for you because the women are just completely crushed. I think it's a man has power is what I'm saying. A man has real power, because my other episode about marriage, about, you know, marriage is doomed, I gave a lot of guys the impression that men don't have any power, women have all the power, and you're fucked. And that's not true. That's not true. You have power, and I just want to put this caveat that whenever you have power, you also have responsibility. Okay, you need some wisdom on this one because you really can hurt people. Okay, you want to have power, you want to maximize it, you want to be fucking ruthless, but at the same time, you want to have some self-awareness about what you're doing, so that you don't, basically, so you don't make any mistakes. I can tell you for sure I made one mistake that I would never do again if I would have heard this podcast. So that's partly what I'm making this for. So, okay, so stringing women along, what is it? It's basically, you know, letting women think that you're going to marry them, okay? Or you're going to get more serious with them. So you want to be an expert at this one. So for example, a woman will come to you and she'll have the talk, right? At some point in your relationship. And most guys do not know how to handle the talk. They're just like the worst. It's almost like either they have to make a serious commitment or they have to like leave. It's over that day. Not for a guy who knows how to string women along. A guy who strings women along, he says all the right things. He's ready for it. Any conversation, she comes to him and she says, hey, you know, we need to get serious. And what are you thinking about this and that? And I want to have kids and all this. And you're like, and so a normal guy, what does he do? A normal guy's like, he goes into total truth mode. He's like, well, baby, I'm thinking I'm going to get married when I'm 31, when I have $150,000 in savings. I would like to have that ranch under contract before. And he's got all these specifics in his mind. He starts like rattling them off, right? And the girl's like, okay, all right. He's giving away everything, right? So, and then a guy who is not serious, okay, a guy's just fucking her, he usually at this point, he's like, no, I don't want anything more serious. And then the girl's gone. A guy who knows how to string women along is different. Okay, so he's ready for this shit. So the girl comes along, she's like, hey, you know, we need to do this, I want to have kids. And then the guy who, the expert is stringing women along, he's like, oh yeah. He's like, totally, me too. He's like, not only I want to have one kid, I want to have 9 kids. And then she smiles and hugs him, starts crying, and then he fucks her, right? And you know, he goes along with it. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, but it's just not, you know, it's not just the right time right now. It's like, it's almost like, it's a great idea, but I totally want to do that. You know, it's like, just the timing is just not quite, you know, there's like this and this. And the girl, who, her mind is used to guys who are pretty weird, pretty lame, she's expecting you to either say yes or no, right? And so she's going to be like, yes or no. She's like, okay, if he says no, fuck it, I'm going to do this. If he says yes, then we can do this, right? She's got a plan, she's got a goal, right? But with your answer, it's like the perfect answer. It's like better than a good answer, because a good answer is kind of like, oh yes, I would like to do what you want and have children, right? But you're not like that. You're like, man, I fucking love kids. I mean, you want to have, how many kids do you want to have? You start talking about it, like, and she's like, oh, I want to have 2 kids, and he's like, man, I don't know, I've always wanted to have like a bunch of kids. Like I would prefer like 4 or 5, like personally, that's what I've always wanted, you know. And the girl would just like, oh my gosh, he's so good, you know. And then you're like, but it's just not quite, you know, like right now, like there's these things I got to do, and there's this kind of thing. And then her mind is like, oh, okay. It's like, that's a good answer for her. She's like, yeah, he wants what I want. In fact, he even wants more than what I want, but it's just not the right time, right? Like, her logical brain's like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. This guy's a good guy, so you pass the test. Now, when you get to the talk, you're kind of at the end of stringing her along. So let's go back to the beginning. How do you string women along? How do you think, what's the mindset? What are the risks? What kind of person should you choose? And when should you be careful? Okay, when should you be careful? Okay, when it comes to who your target is, you want to pick young. Okay, so from 18, anywhere near 18, so 18 to 22 is the best. Pick a young woman, and the reason why is young women are not serious about life yet. They're having fun, they're experimenting, but they're also thinking in the back of their mind, hey, you know, I would like to have children at some point. I'd like to get serious, you know. So they're not completely, but 99% they're having fun, right? So the younger women are better for many reasons. And one is just feeling a younger body just feels better. You know, it's just feeling like an 18-year-old body. Fucking just licking an 18-year-old pussy is beautiful. Like licking a 30-year-old pussy is completely different flavor, you know. Any woman knows this, because most women have licked pussy too. And this isn't just for guys, right? Pussy is better young. Everybody knows it, right? And so pick a young woman. She's flexible. She's more attractive sexually. You'll enjoy being with her more. There's less on her mind, you know. I think, you know, this mindset actually goes both ways for guys too. I notice this when I hire, just kind of put this in here. When I hire men to work at my companies, I noticed a big difference. Like if I hire a young guy, let's say he's anywhere, you know, like from 22 to say 24 or 25, he's going to be, most guys are pretty interested in working at startups, because they're like, hey, big payoff in the end, you know, put my work in now, pick the right technology. And then the guys will work their ass off, you know, because they're like, fuck, I want the big payoff. Guys that are older, let's say 29, 28, they start to get pretty serious. Like one of my biggest mistakes was hiring guys that were 30 to work at startups, because they were past the age when they wanted to do that. And at that age, there are still entrepreneurs you can hire, but they're very clear, black and white. Some are, some aren't. Most aren't. Most guys are not entrepreneurs. But young guys, pretty much all of them are entrepreneurs. So if you're gonna hire guys, you wanna hire guys that are young when they got the energy and they wanna learn, right? So that's the same kind of mindset. So it's not like you're taking advantage. You're giving them, like for the guys, for the business, you're giving an opportunity to work at something bigger than a salary, right? You're a percentage of the company, you know, something like that, right? Younger guys, they like that. Older guys tend not to like that, because the ones that did do that and are successful don't want to work for you because they've got their own company. And the guys who didn't, they kind of know now. They might know they don't have any talent, but most guys can't admit that. So they think, oh, I always got fucked over and had bad luck and this and that. They're going to blame it on other people. So don't hire guys that are older if you're going to do a startup, right? If you're going to string women along, choose younger women. Older women are very depressing to string along. You can do it. I mean, I know guys who've strung along women in their 50s and 40s, 30s. You can totally do it, but it's super not fun and depressing. And there's no real benefit. There's no real benefit. Okay, so you got this girl. How do you dress? How do you look? How do you present yourself? If you want to string women along, you want to look like marriage material. Okay, so no tattoos, short hair. So you want short hair that requires no gel, basically is the mindset. Think something like Top Gun, you know. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Top Gun, but there was a movie and there was these pilots and they were like, they had their shit wired tight, you know. They're like a man, full confidence, good shape. That's kind of the image you want. Not necessarily the clothes they wore, but you know what I'm saying? Just that kind of like young man, fucking ready to succeed. That's the kind of look you want when you want to string girls along. You don't want to have long hair. You don't want to be the hippie. You don't want to be the artist. You don't want to have the muscle shirt on. For shirts, you're probably smarter to go with a collared shirt. So something very simple. Get it from the thrift store. Get it from H&M. You want like a simple colored shirt that looks good on you, right? Not loose, not tight. You know, just kind of like a good fit. Okay, that's the kind of clothes you want. Maybe you want some cool pants. Maybe it's okay. Cool, sexy pants, whatever. That's fine. But you want to look basically like you're the kind of trustworthy guy. This is a key thing. If you're trying to string women along and you look untrustworthy, it won't last as long and it won't be as good. Because women will give you a lot in exchange for the potential of marriage. Man, they will fucking let you fuck their ass. They will do threesomes. They will cook. They will take you places. They will spend money on you. They'll do all kinds of things because what they're doing is they're investing. Okay? So this is the mindset. The mindset is, okay, look, if somebody really loves you and someone's a really good person, you do not want to take advantage of them. I mean, really, there's a limit to anything. So you want to be wise, and I'm going to teach you how to determine this one. But basically have the mindset that if a girl doesn't really like you, okay, let's say you find out a girl doesn't really like you. What do? Most guys are like, oh, you don't really fucking like me. Fuck you, you know. And no. What you do is you go back in your black box and you say, wait a second, this girl doesn't really like me. And you say, what should I do? Okay, what should I do? I should take advantage of her as much as possible. Have her pay for everything, fuck her as many times as I can, get her to do stuff, have her help me pick up girls. Anything that's a kind of heavy lifting that you don't care if she leaves, you want to get her doing that kind of stuff, right? She's like a mule for you now, right? Because you realize that she doesn't really like you. She's just investing for the future, right? And the more evil a girl is, the more you can get this mindset. And this is also what fuels you to be more, you know, like you can be downright evil. If the girl's fucking evil, you go all out, man. Do not fucking hold back. Really, fucking do not hold back. Just torture her, you know, because she's starting it, right? She does not like you and she's pretending like she likes you, right? Fuck that. She's trying to get a jackpot, man. She's investing in you, that's all. You know, I had one guy one time when I was in my 20s. He gave me money. He helped me out. And then when I succeeded, he said, you owe me. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I thought he was just helping me out. He's like, no, man, you owe me. You got to do this, you got to do that. I was like, he didn't tell me, you know, he's just kind of like investing in me. I was like, what the fuck, you know? I was happy to do nice stuff for him, you know. I was super grateful for the guy. But when I realized he was like a zero-sum game kind of guy, and he was like expecting like I was kind of his slave, I was like, fuck this shit, right? So when someone invests in you, they're not really caring about you. They're just kind of hoping that you succeed so they succeed, right? So how can you separate a woman who truly cares about you, okay, and a woman who doesn't? Now, don't get me wrong. You want to string all women along, okay? This is your, I think, your masculine power is your ability to, you know, they're trying to get a commitment out of you. It's a cat and mouse game is what it is. They're trying to get a commitment out of you as fast as possible, right? Either money, time, a baby, whatever. They're trying to get stuff out of you. And your job is to get stuff out of them, okay? And to not give them as little as possible. That's kind of that. This is the cat and mouse game. And of course, anything taken to the extreme can be unhealthy, right? So I just want to say that. Anything taken to the extreme. This is a game. This is fun. You care about people. I care about people. I have enormous love for a lot of the girls I was with, okay? No doubt about it. Probably more than most of the guys on this channel. Like, I love women. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you hate them. I'm just saying, like, this is serious shit, you guys. Dating and marriage is life and death serious shit, okay? The women take it very seriously, and you should too. It's serious, okay? Affects your whole life. Affects your whole fucking life. And many, many, many people will commit suicide when they don't take it seriously enough, and then something happens, and they can't deal with it, right? So it's big time stuff. This is big boy stuff, right? So, okay, so how do you know? Okay, let's talk about the type of woman, the worst type of woman. Some women, okay, like I said, I got to say it again. I fucked like over 700 women. I don't know exactly. I know for sure I fucked 400 in 1991. 400 women. So I have a lot of experience, and I'm not saying that to brag, okay? The reason why I'm saying that is you have to know that if you have more experience, you're gonna see more women, and you'll have different examples, and you can start to have some wisdom, right? If you go to 100 beaches or 500 beaches, you're going to be able to pick the best waves, and you're going to be able to pick the cleanest water and the safest, less sharks, right? Because you've been to these places, you know, right? Just think about yourself. If you've been to, you worked at 3 companies, you know which one's the best company, right? If you could work at more companies, you'd make better decisions, right? So I'm going to tell you right now that, and this is what a lot of MGTOWs don't understand, is that women are very different, okay? And the best women are the ones that, best for you, are the ones who really, really, truly are in love with you. And how can you see that? How can you separate a woman who really likes you and a woman who's actually just trying to trick you and invest in you, and she's like the most cold, calculating type of woman? It's not easy, okay? But I found a way that is pretty fucking effective. Okay, so what you want to do, get your phone ready, okay? Get your video on, go to her house, maybe when she's in the shower, or maybe when she's out, find a way to be there alone, and turn on your video camera and walk around the house. Okay? Just walk around the house. Film everything. Go look at all the pictures on the wall. Look at everything. Look at how she arranges things, where she puts things. For the first time, separate your relationship from her room. Okay, and just imagine that you're like a police investigator looking at this room, and you're looking for clues for what type of person this is and what do they care about. Okay, so what I've found when I do this is that most women, it's pretty depressing. Okay, most women don't really care about me if I'm dating them. Like, if you look around their house, there's no pictures of you. There's if you look around, on her bedstand, there'll be a picture of her dog, there'll be a picture of her family, her brother, sisters. No pictures of you, nothing. Nothing. But you don't want to get all upset. You just want to film it so that you can determine how you're going to treat this woman. Because the thing is, it's not that she has to like you. No woman has to like you. If a woman likes you or doesn't, that's her choice, right? And it's your choice whether you want to be with her. I'm talking about a situation where someone is trying to get with you, okay? They want to get a relationship with you, but actually they don't even fucking care about you at all, right? So this is where the disconnect happens. It's not so much that she doesn't like you, because if a woman doesn't like you, it's fair. It's okay, whatever, totally cool. But she's trying to marry you. She's trying to have a baby with you. She's trying to marry you. She's trying to get something from you. So it's very important to know how she feels. So film her room. Go around, look at everything. And because you're going to forget, and also you're emotional when you're looking at her stuff. You're going to be like, fuck. You're going to be like, oh shit, She might even have a picture of her ex, something like that. It's possible. So look around, film it, just quietly make a video. Don't have to say anything. The next thing you want to do is you want to go to her Facebook page. Okay, you want to look at her Facebook page and just look at each post. You can get Real Player, go to Real Player, download it for free, and then go screen recording, file, screen recording, and it'll make a screen recording capture. So go ahead and go to her Facebook and just scroll down with each post that she has and look for how many pictures there are of you. Let's say you've been dating for a year. Okay, how many pictures are there of you? And then look at who's on her Facebook. Just look at, I'm not saying spy for boyfriends in it. I'm not nothing like that. You're not looking for infidelity here. What you're looking for is, does this woman, how much does she think about you? How much does she care about you? So look for how many pictures of you. And the woman I was talking about before, there was not one picture of me in her Facebook feed. Not one. And it's the weirdest thing, because my brain, when you're dating somebody, you don't, or when you're fucking somebody, you don't see these things. It's the weirdest thing. You can be so lost in your head that you don't even look at reality. So film her house, record with a screen capture her whole Facebook feed. Okay, you can do that from your computer, your friends, right? And then take a break, go back and look at those videos. Just go back and look at them, think about it. And I want to give you something to contrast so you can understand, because it's difficult if you're looking at one person's, say, Facebook feed in one girl's room. It's difficult to tell what she thinks, because if you don't have a lot of experience with girls, you're probably like, I don't know, she's got a picture of me here, and she's got liked a couple of my pictures, and how do I know what that means? Okay, I'm going to tell you that there's a huge difference in how much a woman loves a man. And I've had women who, when I went to their room, like I hadn't been in their room, right? And when I finally went to their room, I was shocked because their room looked like, have you ever seen those there's like a serial killer or something, and he'll have like a shrine to the guy that he wants to kill or killed. You'll have like all these pictures with candles and everything, right? There are women who secretly have like a shrine to you. Like, they really care about you. And the first reaction of people will be like, oh, that girl's a psycho. No, no, no. Don't think that way. Don't think that way. If somebody really cares about you, a girl, she's going to do this kind of shit, especially a younger girl, right? So I remember some girls, when I go to their house, and I was like, there was a fucking shrine to me in her room. Like, literally, like, all pictures of me, all like cut up in heart shapes and like lines on them, and you know, love and this and that. I thought, oh my God, this chick, because she didn't take me there on purpose. Like, she didn't even want me to come over because it was her parents' house, you know, and her dad didn't like me. So, you know, she didn't plan on bringing me here. I just kind of like popped up in her room. I was like, holy shit, this girl fucking likes me. And the other thing I noticed with her, well, of course, Facebook was just full of her at the time. But the other thing is that she would take the best pictures ever of me. Every picture she took was one of my best pictures ever. And that, she was not a photographer. So that does not happen by coincidence. So if I really love a woman, right, I will take good pictures of her. I took very nice pictures of the last girl I dated because I really liked her, actually. And so I would be staring at her. I'd be looking at the moment when I saw her face. You know, she would look one way, and then she would suddenly look good, like nice. And boom, I got that picture. And the reason why I had those nice pictures of her, the reason why I had the best pictures of her, and even today she uses these as her Facebook profile and everything, is because I cared about her. And so I was like looking at her. I was like looking at her. I'm like, bam, now, you know. So a woman that does not like you will not take pictures of you. I mean, she might take a picture here and there, but there's no love in it, okay? There's no love in it. It's just a picture. It's nothing. A woman that really cares about you, you'll wake up in the morning, you'll look over, and she'll take your picture as you're smiling, like sitting there with your hair all messed up. And she'll be like, and then she's like, gotcha. That's a girl who likes you, okay? So these type of women, you want to string along less, okay? So basically, you want to put a woman into a spectrum, okay? A spectrum of women that you think are pretty good people, and that they do care about you. They're not trying to trick you. You know, I mean, sex and relationships are there's always all kinds of confusing things and deception and lies. There's always some aspect of that, just like there is with any animal mating behavior too. But you know what I'm saying, right? There's a big difference, right? So when you separate a woman, once you realize that a woman, and this is the cold realization, is that 95% of women, I don't know what the exact percent, are basically no good. They're not nice. They don't like you. They're just tricking you. They're just with you for whatever reason. They want to get something from you. So now, these type of women are perfect. You can go full on with these women because it doesn't matter. They don't like you. And they're trying to trick you. So you can go ahead and string them along like ruthlessly, right? And when you do, like I said, they won't even get revenge because it's so bad what you did to them. Like when they're older and they've lost, they're at the wall and they don't, it's not that they're, I think a lot of guys in MGTOWs don't understand what the wall is. After the wall, a woman still has a lot of sexual power. There's no doubt about it. More than you do, okay? A woman after the wall has more sexual power than most 99% of guys. So it's not like that. It's not like, oh, there's no hope. It's just that they lost their most important thing. They lost their pizzazz, their special thing, right? That's the thing, right? You want to use that up with these girls, right? You want to meet them young, fuck them well. You want to take, like for example, let's say a girl you don't really like, she doesn't really like you. You discover, you look around her house, you look at her Facebook, you're like, don't say anything. Again, black box. But you're like, fuck, no way. This girl actually doesn't care about me. And again, this is not any kind of reflection on her as a person, but what it is if she's still trying to have a relationship with you, that's not good. You know what I mean? It's like it's the difference between somebody who's doing the passion, the job they love, the passion. They love their job. They would do it for free. And there's another person who's just fucking doing their goddamn fucking job, right? That's what she's doing with you. She's just doing her goddamn fucking relationship. And that's the type of woman that you don't have to worry about. because she doesn't care about you. So it's like, what can you do? What can you get? So you want to do a few things. You want to always be on cheap dates. Okay, don't spend any money on it. Okay, so for example, you go to some place and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna get something else, right? You're not gonna spend any money on her. Make sure you don't spend any money on her. If she wants to go anywhere expensive, she pays. Okay, like Valentine's Day, she wants to go, she pays, right? And she's going to ask you, she's going to say, well, why don't you spend money, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now, keep in mind, she's trying to marry you, okay? So she's going to put up with a lot of shit because she's trying to trick you into marriage. So, and she doesn't care about you. So you say, here's what you do. Now, remember, you're looking good. You're looking fucking solid man, okay? So in every sense of the word, you are a solid, upstanding man, except for this stringing women along part, okay? Everything else, to your brother, to your friends, to your job, you're fucking solid as fuck, right? But here's where you're slimy as fuck on this one. Because, and again, you're only slimy with girls who don't care. And this is tough for a guy. That's why you have to go look at her pictures, because a guy will naturally want to protect a woman, will not want to do anything to a woman. It's a natural thing. Guys are very loving with women, you know? And so you have to kind of get yourself pumped up to really fuck a woman over. And when you realize you're being tricked and used, that gives you enough motivation. At least for me it does. Because I'm like, fuck, who gives a fuck? Like this is total bullshit. Like, what the fuck, you know? You're wasting my time here. So start getting things. So what you want to say to her is say something like, hey baby, I would love to buy you a car, you know, that'd be awesome. You know, like you'd look so good in this fucking Tesla, you know, you'd look so good in there. You'd be so cute. You know, I could see you in this kind of car, Maserati. You'd be so sexy with your fucking mini skirt. And she's going to be like, yeah. And you're like, but you know, what kind of man do you want? Do you want a man who's going to marry and he's got a fancy car, but it's all leased? He's got a house that's just rental. You know, his clothes, you know, he's got debt on his credit card. You know, is that the kind of man you want to marry? And she'll be like, no. And you're like, exactly. Like, or do you want to marry a man with money? A guy who saved his money. A guy's got cash in the bank. He might not show it, but he's got cash. And he's smart with his money. He's smart. She'll be like, oh yeah, I want that. Like, you're like, that's the kind of man I am, you know? So that's why I can't buy frivolous things now. Now, in the future, when that happens, okay, it's like the glass castle in the movie. You're selling that glass castle to her, right? You're like, oh yeah, in the future, dude, we totally got to get a Lamborghini, you know? Fuck yeah. You look so hot in that, and we could park it over there, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And just continue, right? Just continue on stringing her along, okay? And what else? You don't want to answer any questions clearly. You want to have a bunch of women so that you don't have one and you're not like getting all stuck on her. Let's see what else was stringing women along. Get her to do things that, you know, because you don't care. So you're like, hey, let's do a threesome. Go pick up that girl, talk to that girl, let's lick her pussy. And she's like, I don't want to do that. Come on, just go over there. Just come on, come on. It's not gonna be that bad. You're gonna like it. It's gonna be fun. Come on, you know, you know. And then she's like, okay, you know, let's do it. Okay. And then you do it. You're like, yes. And you get anal, you know, you get the threesome, you get everything, right? And you're a cheap date. You never spend any money on her, you know. And you're very efficient with your time. So she texts you. She wants to get. It's almost like you're in a relationship with her, but you're not even in a fucking relationship, because she's like you might text her. You got to be smart though. You got to be smart. You got to leave some love bombs. So for example, you might want to suddenly just send her a message out of nowhere, a nice message. Like say you're in the bank. You're like, I'm in the bank. I'm thinking about you. You know, how are you? And then she'll be like, oh, you know, oh, and she'll be like, because it's like you're, like I said in the beginning, for one of the very first episodes, you're an iron fist in a velvet glove. This is the mindset. You're inside. You will not change. You're confident, no fucking way. But outside, you're soft. You're very, very warm to cuddle with. Okay. What most guys are is they are an iron glove in a velvet fist. So outside, they're very hard to get along with. They're not funny. They're not flexible. They're not sexy. And inside, they're like loose and fucking. They can't make a decision. They change all the time. They'll support their wife to fuck over their own best friend. you know, they're just like so weak inside. There's no backbone, right? You want to be the exact fucking opposite, right? Iron fist, velvet glove. Okay, now, how long does it last? Basically just string her along as long as possible. Every time she's gonna come up with something new that you got to do, or something like, you know, we should do this, and again, it's like that's great, but just not the right time. And I found it's amazing how long you can do this to a girl. Like it really is amazing. Like 10 years, like just goes on. Like it's just amazing, you know. So I think you want to have some mercy. I'll give you an example. The girl who had the shrine to me, we had been together about 10 years. I met her when she was about 18, and we had been together for 10 years. She was 28, and she really wanted to get married. And this woman was a good fucking woman too. She was a good woman. She's a good mother now, and I knew she really did love me. I knew that. It was obvious. And so I said to her finally, I said, you know, baby, I said, I'd like to always be with you. You're the love of my life, but I think probably the smartest thing for you is probably to get married to some other guy. You know, I'll totally support you. I'll help you. You know, like I love you. I care about you. And I do. Even now, I do like that girl. And I'd be like, you know, I really support you and stuff, but I'm just never going to get married. You know that, right? You know that, baby. And like, I don't want to like trick you. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I want you to know that. Like, I love you enough to tell you this. And the girl was like, she was like, oh gosh, I know. She's like, I know. She like started crying. She's like, she was so grateful I told her. Like, because I kind of let her off the hook. I let the fish off the line. I was like, baby, you know, and then she did. She went and fucked. That girl was married in like 4 months. She married a military guy. Boom. He had all kinds of retirement benefits. Boom. They had 2 kids, and she's got a good life. So if a woman is really good, you string her along for a period of years, and then you want to really try to protect her, you know? Don't let her go to the end, because that girl would have gone to the end with me. That girl would have gone to the fucking end. Really. She would have murdered somebody for me. I'm serious too. Like Charles Manson, if I told her to do it, she would have fucking done it. She would do anything for me, that girl. So when I let her go, it was not easy for me, because I did enjoy having her around. And we did a lot of threesomes with girls and guys. It was fucking pretty awesome. It was pretty fun, you know? But I had to let her go. I thought, you know, I've been with enough women to know that this is a good woman. I'm not going to, I will have fun with her, you know? And like I said, it's a cat and mouse game. Girls do like to get played. They do. Girls do. For a period of time. But then there's a period when they don't, right? So you got to know that difference, right? So I let her off the hook. I'm super, super glad I did. The reason why I'm super glad is, one, is because it just feels right to me as a man. Like in my gut feeling, it's like, fuck, I'm so glad I let that one go. And then also when I see her kids are super cute. And I think, fuck, that's so awesome. She's got such an awesome life, you know, because I didn't really love her. I loved her in many ways. It was more of a friend note, to be honest. It wasn't like, I didn't have the same love she had for me, you know? I cared about her, and I could obviously see how much she loved me, and that was great. But for whatever reason, emotionally, I just didn't, she never got me like some women do, you know? She didn't get me. So I wanted to, you know, I wanted her to know that finally, eventually, you know? And there's one woman who I had, who I didn't do this to. And I really, because when I started stringing women along, I didn't know this is what I was doing. This is like my biggest skill. I can string women along like crazy, man. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing it naturally, you know? I'd be like, oh, baby, you know, not yet. Or, you know, next time, you know, you pay this time, you know. You buy this motorcycle and, you know, I'll buy that car. You know, I just did this. But this one, I made the mistake is I got kind of drunk on my power. You know, I was like 25, you know, got drunk on my power, and I wasn't thinking about others like I should have been. And, you know, like I said, I regret it to this day. So be wise, guys. Life is long. You do have enormous power, and stringing a woman along from 18 to 28 is pretty hot, man. You get so much good sex. You get so much good food. You get so many good laughs. You get so many good memories. And if you let her go at the right time, she's good. Now, like I said, if a woman is truly evil, I don't mean evil like some movie, Iago or something in Shakespeare. I mean like she doesn't have your best interest in mind. Like, why would you waste a guy's time? Like, why would you just have a baby with him and marry him? Like, why would you do that if you didn't really love him? Like, I don't know. Maybe some people have mental problems. I don't know. But either way, if somebody just is doing that to you, you don't owe them anything, right? You owe a nice person a lot. okay? I guess that's what I'm saying. And you're probably surprised to hear Ronin man say that, but it's true. A nice person is a nice person, man. Fucking, you gotta step up to the plate with a nice person. You gotta at least think about it. Don't just like unthinking be the same with everybody, right? Okay, so there it is. How to string women along. It's the way you look. Okay, so you want to look tight. You want to be the Top Gun, right? Short hair, no bullshit. Next thing is you want to like be very efficient with your time. So you send her like messages, like little love messages here and there. Like you're an angel, blah blah blah. And then she's like, where did that come from? And she's like, out of nowhere. Right? You're like, oh, that's nice. And you can use this one even if you do like a girl. It's just kind of like popping something out of nowhere, right? That's always a good thing to do. But when you're stringing a woman along, you're kind of not even having a real relationship with them, because you've looked around their room, you looked at their Facebook feed, and you're like fuck, you're like, this is so depressing. This woman does not even care about me. And you're like, okay, all right, well, she's gonna get what she deserves. She's gonna get what she deserves. And you're gonna fucking just, string the bitch along, baby, down to the fucking very end. And when she leaves, she will leave in, like, when you string a woman along and she uses up her youth, well, in poor countries, like third world countries, her brothers will come and kick your ass. Like, poor countries, they're serious about this shit. You take a woman's youth, they'll fucking kill you. I know in China for sure. I was with a girl that I basically used up her youth. Her family fucking really hated me. Like, they're not like America where they don't understand this shit. Poor countries, man, they're like, fuck, you met her when she's young and you fucking strung her along. They didn't say that, but that's what they meant. Like, you strung her along, you didn't fucking marry her, She thought you were gonna marry her and you didn't fucking marry her. They're pissed, right? They take it seriously. Americans are always kind of like, blah. But the thing about it is, with most women, what they're gonna do, the mindset, the reason why you don't have to worry about it is not, hell does not have no fury. Most women believe in fate. They're not logical. They don't believe in science. A lot of women don't believe in that kind of stuff. It's more about fate. So they think that they have bad luck, So they're not even going to blame it on you anyway. They're just going to say, oh yeah, I have bad luck. Or, I have to go to some fortune teller to find out something, right? So they won't even blame you for it. And then some women, once they've lost their beauty, because some women are not very pretty, so when they do turn at a certain age, they go pew really fast, down really fast, right? Those are the ones who are the most depressed. Those are the ones that if you play them, they're really depressed. But what they do is they slink away because no one's angry at you, because it's so depressing. Because now, like, every girl's kind of cute when she's young, but when some women, man, they hit a certain age and it's like over for them, and I'm not even talking about getting fat. I'm just talking about just some women, they're not that pretty, but they look kind of pretty when they're young, right? And those kind of women, man, they will just fucking just leave, They don't even want to see you again. Like, they're never going to talk about you. They're not going to save your pictures. Like, they are fucking gone. And the truth is, good riddance, because they never liked you anyway. They were just fools. They were fucking fools, So that's, look for good people when you're dating. I'm not saying to look for fools. You don't want to, don't get me wrong, you don't want to go find these girls and you ruin their lives. Yeah, that's stupid. If you're going to date women and then find out if they're good or not, right? Just find out if they're good people. Yeah, and if they are, keep that in mind. And if they're not, then you say, okay, all right, well, I know what's going on here, I'm good. And then and make decisions accordingly, and move on with your life and enjoy. You can get a lot of sex. So maybe you can't get a lot out of marriage, okay? Women have the advantage of marriage. But when it comes to dating, especially girls in their late teens and 20s, you got all the cards, my friend. And women have no defense. They never think a guy is consciously stringing them along. Women never suspect this one, never. So you just never give it away. Never talk about it. Never show it on your face. Nothing. You're always just like completely like black box on this one. So the women, you don't want them to think this guy could be like, because like I don't even know any guys that are this evil, to be honest. Like stringing women along consciously. Like I didn't even do it. I did it subconsciously, and then finally over the years, I finally had to get honest with myself, because all these women I kept meeting, they're 28, they're leaving me, they're all depressed, and I realized, holy shit, like I am stringing them. Like I was deceiving them, I kind of realized that after a while. It was something I did naturally, and so I kind of realized, oh shit, this is powerful, And then I realized, I looked back to Don, my mentor, and he had kind of trained me to do this. He had taught me you know, how to do this. And a lot of it was in the way you look, the way you present yourself. You know, it's like you're this fucking, you're a little bit of a fucking, you know, Prince Charming, right? A lot of guys these days, they always talk about alpha and you have to look all this and muscle this and tattoos that and long hair this. Fuck, I'm telling you, if you do this, you're way more alpha than they are. You know, these fucking guys, it's like the difference between a guy who knows how to fight and a guy with a lot of tattoos. You know, the guy who knows how to fight, it's like, okay, he's gonna fucking kick the ass of the dude with the tattoos. The tattoos don't give him any magical fighting ability, man. It's like they give him magical broken nose and broken arm ability and kicked in face ability, right? So, so be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yep, be a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're never ready to commit. It's just always not time, but you always want to talk about it. You're like, oh yeah, oh kids, oh fuck, I love kids. Oh my God, I fucking love. What kind of kids do you like? Oh, what's your favorite baby names? Oh my God, let's look it up on the internet. You're like a dream come true, right? Because and then you fuck the shit out of her, right? Because girls get super wet after a conversation like that, and that'll be a good sex too. That sex after the kind of like the talk and then her relief, fuck, you can get some good sex out of her that day, that's for sure. And she'll appreciate it too, you know. It's all good, it's all good, just win-win, you know. So there is hope, guys, there is hope. And also, final note, be wise, don't abuse good people. And I'm dead serious about that one. You will regret it. It's not even about them, really. You're going to regret it. You will regret it. And as a man, the way that you move to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage is by being a strong, honest man. So I'm not kidding about this one. The reason why I can never be destroyed is because I'm a fucking strong, honest man. I have a good track record, and I know that. So that confidence, it gives me confidence to move on whatever the new thing is. Because I believe in myself. You need to believe in yourself. And the way you do it is by being wise and taking smart, decisive action. And at the same time, realizing that when it comes to sex, this shit is fucking murky and complicated, okay? It's not like Top Gun here. Sex is a fucking game, man. And you got to play that game to unlock your fucking prize, your oyster, you know? You have to play this game. You have to be wise with this game. You cannot be a fool with this game. This is a very serious game that can take you fucking down or can make your life very fucking good, right? All right, guys, there it is. How to string women along.